And we are back, the Rory Sauter Show, coast to coast, worldwide. Listened to in 25 different countries on nearly 70 online platforms. Big night on the show, everybody. I do want to welcome to the show. We have U.S. Senate candidate from Ohio, Mark Pukita. Mark, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the show.
I'm well, Rory. Thanks for having me. And I got to say, your prior guests were on fire tonight.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. Your first time on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, Rory, I think what most people want to know is why do I want to run for the U.S. Senate? What makes me qualified? I think like a lot of people. So first of all, I have to say I am not a career politician. I've never held office before.
Amen.
I had a business that I started in 1996. I come from, I would say, humble background. Both my mom and my dad, Scranton, Pennsylvania, their dads were coal miners. My mom's dad died when she was 6 of black lung. They both had outhouses in their backyard when they were younger, right? So I didn't come from some blue blood, moneyed background, right? We didn't take vacations when I was a kid. We went to visit relatives, right? So I think my parents, having grown up during the Depression, taught me the value of a dollar, value of education. I mean, it's like from the minute I was out of the womb, I knew I was supposed to go to college, right? That was the thing. Going to college. We're saving for college. So anyway, fast forward, go to college, electrical engineering degree, work for IBM and other companies like that, start my own company in 1996, grow it to about $100 million in revenue, about 800 employees. I just sold 90% of it to my 2 key managers. It protected my employees, the folks that kind of got us where we got to. And I'm thinking now, okay, what do I want to do? I want to give back. You know, my financial planner's saying, you know, what do you want to give your money to? You know, charity, et cetera. And I'm like, you know, I'm 61 years old. I'm not ready to throw in the towel. I need another challenge. And probably like you and a lot of other people, I'm angry, right? I'm angry about what's going on. I'm angry about the fact that everybody wants to change the rules of the game that a lot of us have played by for decades, right? Keep your nose clean, go to school, get an education, listen to the teacher, go to church, you know, respect your elders. I mean, we could go down that list, and it's like the classic kind of progressive liberal mantra to turn that stuff on its head, to confuse people. And I just said, I had enough. I'm going to run it. And I'm fortunate in Ohio that in 2 years, in 2022, Rob Portman, who I think anybody that's going to be real about this would say is a rhino, right? He's voted against a lot of Trump's policies in terms of immigration, the wall, voted for if you go to my Twitter feed, you'll find it all. Let me just say, I don't think Rob Portman is a bad guy. I just think his policies and his politics are wrong. So I'm going to primary him. And I will tell you, it has – I had signed up a month ago, for this kind of GOP, Ohio GOP, kind of boot camp college, you know, kind of thing to go to last Saturday. And I got disinvited. And the folks that disinvited me won't even respond to emails to tell me why. I mean, they're literally hiding under their desks like George Costanza. And it's because, and you know this is, and your prior guests tonight know this, we are disturbing this comfortable position they've been in where everybody scratches each other's back. Everybody figures out how to make a little bit of jangle, and the voters get screwed every time. And you know what? It doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat, whether it's left or right. The voter gets screwed. If you've spent any time in D.C., I've spent a lot of time in D.C. the past few years, just hanging out. And you'll sit in a restaurant or at a bar and listen to people talk. Rory, I'm in Columbus, Ohio, right? It is the Midwest. It is flyover country. Those conversations are, it's like, did I just get shot up to Pluto by Elon Musk? Am I on a different planet? Right? It's astounding to me. So that's why I'm running. And it'll be an uphill battle. Rob Portman has about $3.5 million in the bank right now. I think I've got 600. Doesn't matter. I'm a technology guy. I think you are too. We'll use technology. 88 counties in Ohio. I'll be in every one of them multiple times between now and 2022 because I got a lot of lead time, right? I'm not starting like a year ahead of time. I'm starting 2 years ahead of time. And if all I do is get the word out and educate people and don't get elected, I'll feel like I've accomplished something, but that isn't my objective. My objective is to get to D.C. and push a 5-point anti-corruption agenda. Can we talk about that? Like, I don't want to keep going on here, but I think it's important. Yeah. So.
No, go ahead. I love what you're saying. Keep going.
Yeah. So the agenda is simply this. We've got to find a way to take Washington back. And the problem we've got is career politicians get there and you can never get rid of them because it's all money. So first of all, we need term limits. And I would say at a minimum, we need 12 and 12. You can do 6 terms in the House, which are 2 years apiece, and 2 terms in the Senate, and then you're done. Now, some people say that's a lot. I'm for that because it kind of handles the objection from people about, well, we do need some people who understand parliamentary process and just how the government runs. And if you don't understand that, it is somewhat complex. If you look at the rules of the Senate and you look at the rules of the House and you even see the parliamentary process is going on right now with the impeachment, there is some structure there that I think is important, right? You got to have rules by which to run the game. And so 12 and 12 for me, I think is the maximum. If it's less, I'm cool with that, but I think 12 and 12, I'd be comfortable with that personally. Secondly, we've got to outlaw offshore accounts in the United States, ownership of offshore accounts. This is the way that corrupt politicians get their friends and families paid through what Peter Schweitzer has called proxy corruption, right? So we've seen it with Hunter Biden and Devin Archer and Chris Hines, right? We've seen that. It's almost like that you can't even contest the fact that the corruption happened. So I would encourage your listeners to read Peter Schweitzer's 2 books, Secret Empires and Profiles of Corruption. It talks about how magically Joe Biden goes on Air Force 2, goes to China, has some meetings. His son goes with him along with his daughter. And a couple days after they get back, Hunter's got $1.5 million in investment in his quote-unquote private equity firm that he runs with Devin Archer, I believe. And the Chinese had never done that before, right? I mean, is that just like, was Hunter the guy
the whole thing is just,
right?
Yeah, it really is just insane, the entire thing. And, you know, talking about you running for Congress U.S. Senate, I mean, in your state, why do you think people favor people like Rob Portman when he's not for the Trump agenda and he's more of a rhino? And we know Trump talks highly of him, and Trump talks highly of various rhinos. Like, I'm not impressed with Martha McSally in Arizona. I think she's done a bad job, and I think she's the definition of a rhino. And to be honest with you, I think Kristen Sinema, who's a Democrat, she's more of a moderate, though. She sided with the president more than McSally.
She's less of a rhino. I would say, I would agree with you there. I would say she's less of a rhino than like Rob Portman, right? So I think with Portman, I think it's a couple of things, right? We are all busy. We are super busy, right? The internet and technology and smartphones have just accelerated, how we take in information.
Technology is the best, is more evolved than ever before. I own an app company. We build apps, so smartphone apps. So, I've seen every single idea, and I can't believe how amazing our society is with all these different trends and all these different platforms and machines. It's quite something. You're right.
It's crazy, right? So people are overwhelmed with information, and it's like, unless you've got a Jones for policy and politics, you're probably going to take a summary off of something on your phone, CNN, whatever it is, right? And you're going to see Rob Portman, and he's got a lot of money and he's got a lot of ads, right? And it's like, Rob Portman, he's in Washington. It's kind of like once you get there and become a celebrity, you never leave, right? It's so hard to unseat an incumbent, no matter how they perform. Like if you look at Rob Portman in terms of the way he votes, he is like right in the middle, right on the line with the more centrist Democrats. In fact, I think there are some Democrats that are further to the conservative side in terms of the way they vote than he is, right? And he votes a lot with the Republicans, but the stuff that he votes against the Republicans on, it's stuff like the wall, funding for the wall. It's like chastising or the word escapes me now, censuring the president for racist talk, whatever that bill was in the Senate. It's just kind of crazy. And then the other thing is, a guy like that that's been there so long that is very like flying under the radar. I believe in what I call financial hyper transparency, right? And what I mean by that is you shouldn't only have to give your tax returns, but if you're investing in things and you're getting other statements or you've got trusts and all the rest, you should have to, as I put it once, drop your pants and show that to everybody, right?
Right. And what does it feel? What does it feel like? What does it feel like being an outsider? Because you were talking about this whole establishment and this whole, it's like a cult. They're all in bed together. They're all owned. They all got the special interests. It's a problem. And it's, these rhinos are really. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're protecting each other. And it's kind of like you feel like David and Goliath, right? But having been an entrepreneur and started a company from scratch, literally in my basement with $1,000 of my own money and growing it, okay, and having to literally, to this day, have every asset that I own signed over to the bank in the event that we default on debt, okay? Stuff gets really real in your life when you think about that, right? You have to talk to your spouse about it, right? You have to talk to your kids about it. And you have basically a fire under your backside to not fail, right? And I think so we segue into this, why is Donald Trump being successful, okay? Because he's been there and he's done that. And he's been, I think, to the point where he thought, holy cow, this is going to go under. I can't let it go under. Someone asked me a few years ago, it's probably 55, 56 years old. I'm 61 now. They said to me, well, what would you do if Fast Switch went under? And I'm like, that's not an option. I can't even think about that, because how's a 55-year-old guy that built his own business going to go out and get a job again? I might be able to get a job, but I would hate it, right? Hate working for someone else. And I think that's what they don't understand about his psyche and the psyche of people like his predecessor, who literally never put anybody else to work, never had to risk their own capital, never had to be uncomfortable waking up at 2 a.m. saying, what if this happened? And
No, I hear you.
who would you rather have sitting in the White House in the event that something catastrophic is about to happen? Who is able to make the best
Absolutely,
decision?
Who
is able to cut through that?
Mark, yeah, no, Mark, absolutely. And I could talk to you all. I could talk to you all day, and I want to get you back soon. But I do got to get to the next guest. But tell everybody where they can connect with the campaign and all that stuff.
Sure. So it's I've got a odd last name, Pukita. It's Pukita. It's pronounced like the banana with a P. So it's Pukita, 6 letters, Pukita for Senate2022.com. I'm at mpukita on Twitter. I'm at Pukita Senate on Twitter. I'm sure people could go to your Twitter and see my handle there and get in touch with me. But here's what I would say. What I would really like is 88 counties in Ohio, and I want to be in every one of them multiple times talking to real people. Not control crowd. I don't care who comes, right? I don't care who shows up. We'll talk, okay? And I will listen.
Absolutely.
But I'm also going to challenge. So,
and we will get you back soon because I want to talk to you more. I got a big line tonight, so I got to get through it.
Awesome. Thanks, Rory. Really appreciate it.
All right, Mark. God bless. Talk to you soon.